Meister, who's at the Pueblo County High School for their career day. Matt, good morning to you. How's it going, buddy?
You're the weather mammoth.
What are you talking about? Hairy mammoth?
Big bones.
Weather mammoth? What are you
big
guys
bones,
talking
Matt.
about?
You're our big bone.
Oh, well, in my own mind anyways, Craig. I'm here talking.
We're talking Commando this morning, big bones.
Television.
Yeah. Sorry. Now the kids, Matt. Now it's time for the kids.
Sorry, Matt.
Hey, that's one of our best transitions ever, Craig. Thank you for the warm introduction. I appreciate that. Hey, I am at Pueblo County High School, the home of the Hornets. We're in this really cool, multi-purpose sort of open learning area where we are talking to the second of 3 television broadcast journalism classes today. And we've been telling them a little bit, my photojournalist Sarah and I, about working in news, a little bit about our journey here, kind of what we do on a daily basis. We've shared some behind-the-scenes stories, some high moments and some low moments working in this industry. And so right now what I want to do is bring in the instructor of the class. This is Mr. Sean Pacheco, who he's been, well, we previously worked together actually at a station we cannot name on these airwaves. A rival station, there you go. But Sean, it's so good to be here with you today.
Happy to have you.
This seems like this is a good fit for you, teaching maybe the next generation of broadcasters. What sorts of things, I know you have a couple different years of courses, but what has the group behind us been learning?
So we've been doing a lot of filmmaking so far. So this year the students in this class have been making some short films. We did a short narrative film for the first half. That was their midterm. And then their final project, which is due this Friday, is a mini documentary. So we're doing that right now. And that's kind of to get them ready for next year where they'll be going into the broadcasting side of things with our studio here.
Which is pretty awesome that high schools have broadcast studios. I think that's really, really neat. What, in your time in the industry, because you were in it for a long time before you started teaching,
years, yeah.
What was the biggest changes that you saw in local news broadcasting?
I would say cell phone technology. So from where I started, there was very few cell phones. By the end, everyone had them, so everyone essentially became a cameraman, a reporter, could send in photos from flooding or fires and instantly have that on the air. So that was definitely the biggest change. That and the internet, I would say. Right,
and so not only the ability to take that content or to create it, but to share it out to the world as well, which has been a challenge for the, you know, the bigger sort of monolithic news folks, is how do we in some ways compete with that citizen journalist?
Yeah, exactly. So taking that and incorporating it into the newscast really kind of broaden the scope of, you know, how the news gets out to people, how they see things, and I think that's been really the biggest change. And
so where, as someone teaching the next generation, where is the industry going?
That's a great question. I think there's a big shift to going online. I think that's where you ask most students, I don't think a lot of them really watch traditional TV the way that you and I used to growing up. Right. I think everything has shifted to Twitter and Facebook, and everything's online now. So I think that's the way most students now, most people coming up, you know, younger than us, get their access to news.
Yeah, and that's changing the way we do things. That's one of the subjects that we're talking about here today. I'm going to get back to it. We'll check back in with the 3rd class coming up a little bit later on, but for now we'll send it back to you guys for more Loving Living Local in the studio.
Matt, sounds good. Thank you so much. You talked about the highs and lows of the business. That was a high moment right there. Talking to the kids what you're doing. A low moment was the first few minutes of the show here. It's give and take. Give and take.
They can't all be home runs, Craig.
No.
They can't all be home runs.
But thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate that.